Hi guys, this is Vishal here from Drapcode. So in this video, we will understand how to implement pagination for data coming from Xano. So here we are using Xano as a backend and Drapcode as a front-end builder, where all the data is coming from Xano. We are not storing anything locally, so we are making API calls to get data, to retrieve data, to create new records, update, delete, and everything. So data is stored in Xano, and we are all fetching everything through APIs and then displaying and doing all the manipulation on the UI using Drapcode as a UI builder. So here we have already implemented couple of REST API in the previous videos, which you can find in the link. Okay, after that we are just displaying data. So as of now I have 7 records in Xano. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and the data is coming in the real time from Xano. Now let's say we have thousands of records and we don't want to fetch everything, we want to apply pagination. That okay, show me let's say 5 records at a time or 10 records at a time, and then when person clicks next, they should see the other data, right? We don't want to pull everything in a single call. So let's see how that can be done in Drapcode when we are using Xano as a backend. Okay, so here we have this table. Okay, as of now this is the REST API which we are using, which is just making a call to an API which is returning all the results. Okay, and then we are binding that result in a person collection. We are just mapping the fields and we are using those fields to display data on the table like this. So the REST API which we are using from Xano is person all records. Okay, so basically fetch everything. Now I want to restrict the result. Let's say we have 7 records, so let's display 3 at a time, 3, 3 and 1. Okay, so we'll apply pagination. If you are using Drapcode database, then it's very easy. You can just go in, instead of 10 you can just make it 2 or 3 and it display 2 or 3 data. But in case of data is coming from external API, this do not work straightforward. We need to control thing at the API also, that the API should also return only the relevant result. Otherwise the pagination will remain only on the UI and that they do not solve the purpose. You have 10,000 records as Xano, you fetch everything, and just handling, showing, hiding on the UI is not an optimal approach. So good approach is that only the paginated result should come from the backend, right? So let's see how that can be done. So currently we have this pagination tab is not showing because we have less than 10 records, but let's see how that can be done. So as of now, if I go and make a call, Xano is returning all the results. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, all 7 records. Now I want these records to be paginated. To do a pagination in Xano, first we need to pass an input parameter, which is a variable which will pass in the URL that okay, give me these number of records, or let's say give me records by pages. So I'll create a variable with a name called page. Okay, and we'll pass the value 0 1 2 3 on this variable. So I'll create page. The variable is here. Now I want to use this variable in my query. Okay, so I'll go and I'll say data manipulation, create variable. Let's say create variable external page. Okay, and this is of type object, which is basically a JSON object. Okay, and I'll just set the value. So I'll say take the value as page and pass it to the input, which is a type of page. Okay, so this is here. So we have taken the value of page and passed it to another variable for page, which we'll use later. So I'll save this. Now let's move the variable above because we'll need before the query gets executed. This is fine. Now let's go and use this pagination in the actual query, right? So as of now, if I execute the query, this will not do anything because the variable page is here, but we have not yet told the query what to do. So it is still returning everything. Now let's go and change the query. So first of all, we need to enable pagination. So I'll go to output and the pagination is disabled. So let me enable it. So I'll say enable pagination. So by default, it shows 25 record at a time. We don't have that much data. So I'll just limit it to, let's say 3 records. Okay. I don't include these things because it will basically change the structure of the data. So I'll just leave it as it is. It basically starts sending a couple of more attributes, but we don't need it for now. So we'll just keep it as it is. and I'll save it. Now we need to handle this. We need to pass the value from that external the variable from the external variable to the query. So I'll just copy that variable, which is external page. Okay, and here, so all these were checked by default, so I'll just remove it and I'll say allow page override, and I'll save it. So I've told the query builder that send me 3 records at a time, and the page record will come in a page variable in the URL. So let's try to debug it, run it. Okay, so it is saying value is 0, which is less than minimum of 1. Okay, that's fine. We'll change it to 1. Run it. So it is now giving me 3 records. Record number 10, 3 and 6. Okay, let's change it to page 2. So it's 9, 11, 5, another 3 record. Let's paste to page 3. Now I have only 1 record remaining, so 1 record. If I do page 4, no records, right? Because we don't have that many records. So it's showing 3, 3 and 1. Now let's implement this on Drapcode. So now we have completed the pagination here. Let's implement it on Drapcode. So I'll go to my table. So here, first we need to pass that page variable in the external API. So I'll go to my external API, and here I'll say page is equal to 1. So this is the default page. So when the table loads, show me the data of page 1, which is the 3 records. I'll just save it. Okay. Now I'll go to my data table and do some settings. So here I'll say instead of 10 records, display 3, which is fine. And here in the pagination page, I need to give the name of the key, that which key is controlling the pagination. So for next button, it will change the value from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, like this, right? So page offset key is page. So this is what we created in Xano, and this is what we are passing in the URL explicitly. So I'll do as it is. And that's all. I think everything is done. We have already told the pagination to consider 3 records at a time with the name of page, right? So let's go and reload this table. So this should display 3 records now. And once we click next, 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 it should move to new pages. So here, if you see, it is showing 3 records. The data is still loading. Okay, so the data is here. Now if I click next, so next 3 records are here. Previously it was person 9 and something. Now it's another. If I'll click next, so now it is showing 1 record. So 3, 3 and 1. So those are the 7 records. Let's go and add one more record in Xano, and let's see where it adds up. Okay, so let's say person 11, some date, some value. Okay, so now I've added one more data. I'll go back to my table. Now I'll go back and then come back again. It should add one more record, because now we have 3, 3 and 2. So first page has 3 records, second page has 3 records, and the third page has 2 records. So it is basically bringing 3 records at a time, and even to Xano, it is making a call to only bring that subset of data, not bringing all the 8 records in a time. Similarly, you can do for 100 record, 1000 record, 5000, 10,000 or 1 million records, right? You bring maybe 100 or 50 at a time. So this is how easy it is to implement pagination in Xano. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you again in the next video. Bye-bye.